Have you ever felt like the ground beneath you just gave way? The job disappears, the love fades, the money runs dry, and no one's coming to save you. What do you do when everything collapses? Will you fall with it? Or will you become the still point in the storm? There will be moments, perhaps more than one, when life falls apart. The ground beneath you disappears, the job is gone, the relationship dies, the savings vanish. A diagnosis hits you like a hammer, and you finally realize no one is coming. No one is going to fix it for you. And most people, they don't even notice you're breaking. This is the moment most people fold. They hide. They spiral. They abandon themselves because they never built the strength to hold the line when the line was all that was left. But the Stoic does not collapse when the world does. You become the stillness in the chaos. You hold the line not because it's easy, but because it's the only way to survive, to grow stronger, and eventually to win. Lesson 1. When you can't control the world, you must control yourself. Your instinct in collapse is to rage, panic, obsess. But Stoicism teaches us this: external. Chaos is not the true enemy, internal collapses. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." So the first battle is not to fix your life, it's to fix your posture in it. Control your breath, control your tone, control your focus, control your actions. Because once you master that, the rest becomes manageable. Why does this matter? Losing your composure guarantees worse outcomes. Clarity begins where panic ends. The world may burn, but your mind doesn't have to. So, when overwhelmed, what should you do? Repeat to yourself, "I control how I respond." Label the emotion, don't feed it. Stop asking why me and start asking what now. Remember, the world doesn't break you. You break yourself when you lose your grip on what's still in your hands. Lesson 2. Pain is not a signal to quit. It's a call to dig in. When life breaks apart, pain will tempt you to retreat, to shut down, to escape into distraction, addiction, despair. But that's the exact moment to dig in, not to force a win, but to remain standing. Seneca once wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor strengthens the body." Pain is not a stop sign, it's a war drum. It tells you, this is your training now. Because if you can remain upright in suffering, you become someone no one can move. Why does this matter? Because pain is the proving ground for strength. 3. Pain teaches emotional discipline. The person who endures suffering with strength becomes someone who commands deep respect from others, yes, but especially from within. So, how do you apply this? Don't ask, "When will this end?" Ask, "How can I endure this with honor?" Track your smallest wins. Some days, just getting out of bed during a breakdown is a triumph. Treat every hard day like mental weight training. Each time you stay standing through the pain, you move closer to becoming the unbreakable version of yourself. 4. Abandoning yourself is the worst collapse. It's not the event that ruins a person, it's how they abandon themselves afterward. They stop training, they stop journaling, they stop showing up for the people who still need them. They whisper, "I can't," and that decision kills everything else. But the Stoic knows you don't get to walk away from your duty, especially not when it hurts. Epictetus said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid in crisis." Yes, you might look messy, you might feel broken, but what matters is this: you do not quit on yourself. Hold your practices, hold your values, hold your word, because those are the bricks you'll use to rebuild everything. Why does this matter? Because self-respect is often the last rope in the storm. Losing your values in the collapse leads to long-term regret. When chaos takes over everything else, your daily rituals become more critical than ever. How to apply this? Pick one habit, just one, and don't let it go. When your mind spirals, act instead. Discipline is the path back to clarity. Speak to yourself like someone worth saving, because you are. And never forget, the collapse only defines you if you collapse with it. 5. Don't seek pity, seek purpose. Hardship tempts, you to make pain your identity. You tell everyone how hard it is. You chase sympathy. You become the victim. But you don't need pity. You need a reason to keep going. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, don't let your imagination be crushed by life as a whole. Stay with the situation at hand. Pity brings temporary relief. Purpose brings lasting power. When everything is falling apart, purpose becomes your spine. Even if, right now, that purpose is simply to survive. Say to yourself, I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to do next. Why does this matter? Because victimhood freezes all action. 6. Purpose is fuel. A person without purpose drowns in hardship, but a person with purpose, they rise through it. Purpose gives pain meaning, and meaning gives pain endurance. So how do you apply this? Write one simple sentence to define your mission for the week. Something like, my job is to keep going, no matter what. When you feel yourself spiraling, ask, who needs me to stay strong today? Stop rehearsing what you've lost. Start rehearsing what you still have to do. Remember, your pain is not your identity. Your response is. 7. Isolation is the enemy, stillness is the weapon. When life collapses, most people isolate. They hide their struggle. They say nothing. They disappear. But isolation feeds darkness. Stillness, however, is something else entirely. Stillness is the conscious choice to face reality in silence, not to run from others, but to finally hear yourself again. Seneca wrote, we suffer more, often in imagination than in reality. Stillness is where you sort what's real from what's not, where you stop reacting, where you begin rebuilding, where emotion slows down enough for insight to rise. Why does this matter? Because isolation weakens you, but stillness strengthens you. Recovery begins not with distraction, but with reflection. Men who master stillness don't need chaos to feel alive. How do you apply it? Set time to be alone, not to sulk, but to recalibrate. Journal questions like, what am I still in control of? What is true today? Use stillness as a whetstone, not a hiding place. Reminder, don't vanish. Retreat, reflect, and return sharper. 8. Your emotions are real, but they are not your ruler. When your life unravels, emotions surge like crashing waves. Fear, rage, despair, shame, they scream for control. But the Stoic knows feeling emotion is not weakness. Being ruled by emotion is, Epictetus said, it's not things themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them. You must acknowledge the storm inside, but you don't let it steer the ship. You become the observer, not the prisoner. Emotions are messengers, not masters. Let them speak, then act from principle, not panic. Why does this matter? Because the one who can feel without flinching is the most dangerous person in the room. Emotional chaos leads to bad decisions. Calm brings clarity. Strength isn't suppression, it's command. How to apply it when overwhelmed? Pause. Name the emotion without judgment. Ask, is this true or just a reaction? 9. In every moment of challenge, ask yourself, what would the person I want to become do right now? Feel the emotion, let it pass through you fully. But when you act, don't act from volatility. Act from your values. Act from your principles. Act from the character you're building. 10. You can't rush stability, but you can build it. Brick by brick, every day. When everything falls apart, your instincts scream, fix it now. Rebuild everything today. You want to put it all back together in one desperate, heroic surge. But lasting strength doesn't come from panic. It comes from patience. Marcus Aurelius wrote, no great thing is created suddenly. You don't need to behold tomorrow. You just need to stay faithful today. Brick by brick, step by step, through every doubt, every setback, every delay. Your job is not to sprint toward healing. It's to stay disciplined long enough for healing to find you. Why this matters? Because patience is the engine of all true strength. Desperation builds weak foundations. Discipline builds solid ones. What's rushed is rarely real. How to apply it? Set one clear priority per day. Follow through, no matter how you feel. Track your progress weekly, not hourly. Remind yourself, if I stay steady, life will catch up. You're not falling behind. You're forging your comeback the right way. 11. Adversity doesn't disqualify you, it qualifies you. We often think life being hard means we failed. That struggle equals weakness. But the Stoic man knows adversity is the test. And the teacher, Seneca, wrote, fire tests gold. Suffering tests brave men. You're not being punished. You're being forged, molded, hardened, sharpened. The same weight that feels like it's crushing you is the pressure that's forming your next evolution. You cannot become the person you admire without facing the trials they endured. Why this matters? Because the broken path builds stronger legs. Scars aren't shameful, they're sacred. Suffering births the kind of strength the world truly respects. How to apply it? Look back on your past trials. See how they built you, not broke you. Don't curse adversity. Thank it for giving you a battle worth fighting. Use hardship as raw material for wisdom and future leadership. Reminder, this isn't the end. This is your sharpening. 12. The man who can rebuild himself is truly free. If you hold the line long enough, something incredible happens. You stop fearing collapse. Why? Because you've proven you can rise from it. 13. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, look well into yourself. There is a source of strength which will always spring up if you will always look. Once you've survived collapse, you stop being terrified of losing money, love, status, or structure. Because now you know, even if it all falls away, you can rebuild, you can endure, you can walk through fire and come out sharper. This isn't blind optimism. This is earned confidence. It's not, I hope I survive. It's, I've faced worse and I'm still here. I adapted. Why this matters? Because resilience turns fear into fuel. Rebuilding yourself is the highest form of self-reliance. Once you've rebuilt once, nothing can own you again. How to apply it? Write down your survival story. This is how I held the line. You begin to see collapse not as death, but as rebirth. And when life tests you again, say it aloud, this isn't my end, this is my origin story. Reminder, the one who doesn't fear collapse cannot be manipulated, cannot be broken. 14. The line you hold today becomes the legacy you leave tomorrow. Your kids won't remember how much money you had when life crumbled. Your friends won't quote your temporary wins. They'll remember only this: did you stand or fold? Did you whine or carry? Did you run or remain? Did you lose yourself or rise? Seneca wrote, sometimes even to live is an act of courage. Right now, you're teaching everyone around you how to respond when the world goes dark. You're shaping a story that will outlive your body, and you're doing it now. By how you hold this very moment, let them say of you, he didn't flinch, he stayed steady, he endured, and then he rebuilt. Why this matters? Because how you carry yourself in crisis becomes your inheritance. Dignity in collapse becomes a generational gift. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be present and unbroken. How to apply it? Imagine your future self looking back. What do you want him to admire? Ask, what do I want my son or younger self to learn from me right now? Refuse to hand down weakness. Pass down strength by modeling it. Reminder, you're not just surviving this, you're building your legend through it. Final reflection, when the world breaks, become the wall. Every person will face collapse. Not just once, but maybe many times. But collapse isn't defeat, it's an invitation. An invitation to rise through fire, to build from ash. And in the final part coming next, you'll receive one final message. A reminder of how to rise with grace, power, and unshakable identity, even in your darkest hour. And then something powerful happens. You become the one who doesn't fold, even when everyone else runs. When the world falls apart, you hold the line, not because you're fearless, but because fear no longer controls your steps. Yes, you may still feel fear, but it no longer determines your direction. You no longer need the world to stay steady, because you've built something stronger within yourself. Because values beat circumstances. because your soul has been forged in fire, because you've become the kind of man who can say, "Let it fall. I'm still here." And in that moment, something else shifts. You don't just survive, you become a foundation for others. You're the quiet light in the darkness, the one others watch when they don't know what to do, the living proof that a person can remain upright even when everything else collapses. Do you feel that strength stirring inside you now? That silent pillar rising within? If so, hold on to it, because in the next part, or in the next video, we'll explore something even greater. How to share that strength with others and lead not just yourself, but those who are still lost in the storm. This isn't just a video about how to survive when everything falls apart. It's a powerful reminder that in your darkest moments, you still have a choice to stand firm, to be the light, and to become the one who rebuilds. This video isn't for those looking for an easy life, it's for those who have fallen, but want to rise the right way. For those who are hurting, but refuse to quit. For those who understand, true strength is not about never collapsing. It's about always rising after you do. If you're walking through a season of collapse, remember this: you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be honest with yourself, loyal to your values, and disciplined in your action. Don't seek pity, seek purpose. Don't wait for the world to change. Change the way you face it. And if today all you can do is stay standing without folding, that is enough, because that is the first step in a legend being written. If this video resonated with you, don't forget to like the video to help spread this powerful message. Subscribe to the channel for more Stoic and personal growth content. Share the video with someone who needs to hear this right now, and drop a comment. I'm still here. If you've chosen to stand tall, even when life is testing you to your core.